When it comes to Hanafis, this is a bit of a discussion we need to do, because Hanafis, they don't treat well like other things we have discussed previously. They have a very specific fiqh when it comes to water wells. So Hanafis, they say, if something or someone, a person or an animal, falls into a well alive and comes back out alive, they have not bled while they were in the water, they have not urinated, they went in and were taken out straight away. Alive animal or human does not make the water dirty unless there was a filth on it. But in itself it doesn't, with exception of pig. Pig is filthy in the Hanafi fiqh. If someone picked up a pig, dipped into well, the well is dirty. Even if that pig was washed with soap just before dipping it, it doesn't matter. Because Allah said in the Quran about the lahm al-khinzir, فَإِنَّهُ رِجْسٌ. They said this is filthy in itself. The whole pig is filthy. So in Hanafi fiqh, with the exception of the fiqh, anything alive, if a person dips into a well and he has he comes back out, the water is clean. The water will be clean. But the saliva of the animals we don't eat is considered filthy. So if that animal put their saliva in, for example, there's a dog looking into a well and there's a saliva dripping, that dripping of saliva goes into the well has become dirty. Okay. But that's for alive animals. When an animal dies in a well, they look at the size of the animal. They say, if the animal which fell was a mouse, a rat, or a sparrow, something of a small size, that size, then firstly the animal needs to be taken out, and then 20 containers of water needs to be taken out of the well. They said 20 is a must, 30 is recommended. Why is that? Because Anas radiallahu ta'ala anhu had done this. A mouse fell into a well and it was taken out, and he ordered that 20 containers of water are taken out. A container in that sense has to be 1 sa'. Let's say 2.5 liter. Has to be 1 sa'. So 20 container to 30 container. 20 is must and 30 is recommended. If you have one container size of 10 sa', then you just take 2 or 3 out of that. It's the amount of water, not the container itself. If it was something bigger, like a chicken or a cat or a pigeon, then they say that 40 containers are taken out of the well after the animal has been removed. And it is recommended that you take 50 out. 40 is a must. And why do they say that? They say because Abu Sa'id Khudri radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he ordered 40 containers to be taken out when chicken had died in a well. And if something bigger, such as goat or human or some cow and whatever animal had died into a well, then you have to take all the water out of the well. Why do they say that? Because there was one person who he fell into Zamzam well, and Ibn Abbas and Ibn Zubayr radiallahu ta'ala anhuma, they had given fatwa that all water needs to be taken out. And that's what they did. This is in what case? All this I just said, 20, 40, and all. In what case? In case the animal fell in and died and he got taken out. You took the animal out and then you took the water out. In all these cases, we are assuming the animal hasn't puffed up, hasn't swollen, neither has it dripped or bled. If you remember, bleeding is the blood is najas in the fiqh of Hanafis. And in case if animal has swollen or has ripped apart, then whether is a rat or a sparrow, whether is a cat or a chicken, whether is a goat and whatever's bigger than that, in all cases all the water needs to be removed from the well.